Hi there, Gareth here again. This is a video I've mentioned in the last video about what I enjoyed as an English teacher, teaching English as a foreign language. This is some tips for starting out if you've never done it before. Some tips are native speaker specific because it was my own experience, some are more generic. The first one I would have is if you're a non-native, you need to make sure your English is at a good level. A native speaker, you need to be more conscious about grammar. You possibly don't think about grammar until you're made to teach it, and then you need to check you're labelling things correctly, even if you speak correctly. Big tip for native speakers, it's important you avoid your own regional slang. There's a very strong regional dialect where I come from in my county. It's a very important part of my culture, the regional dialect. I expect it to be treated with respect by other people, but if I was to use this with a student who's new to English, they will not know the regional dialect of Yorkshire, my home county, because you wouldn't be exposed to it. It would be confusing. So you need to stick with more neutral standard English. It's an important thing. A special one-off class about your own local dialect is an interesting extra, but generally using local slang, local dialect that's from a region or even a specific country in the English speaking world, it's always going to be something difficult to not do. Second major point would be you want to find an English school you can work for as quickly as possible, as many different ones as possible, and you can never really turn down a chance for a private class because they're always going to pay more money. And that is when you get a chance to experiment with different methodologies. But when you go to a normal language school, like here in Brazil, this is for anybody regardless of native or non-native, you get a chance to learn a different methodology. I've learned a few different methodologies, and you get to take good parts of each methodology and put it into your own class planning. First methodology I got using was Callan method. I've critiqued Callan method before. There's a lot of good stuff, but I think it can be a little tedious. I think it's important to try different things. There's different methods that are more communicative I've tried. These are the jobs you're more likely to get as a native teacher. Things that are very conversation and communicative methodologies are always going to be the kind of thing that will offer you a job, so you can apply to all of them. More traditional places probably don't respect native speakers if they don't think you've got a degree that's relevant. They tend to prefer people who've been through their style of school and stuff like that. So some schools are like that, so you've got to be conscious of the kind of places that will accept your application and reject it. You can't get too hung up on a rejection at a place for whatever reasons. I was rejected at a school I won't name just in case their lawyers are watching, but because I had an English accent, that was the only problem they had with me. So sounding like you're from England is a problem to this specific school. This has made various students laugh when I've told them, yeah, this place didn't want to hire me because I had an English accent. That was their only reason. I'd passed their grammar test, been through interview stage, somebody had heard my accent and said, oh, that's difficult. They would rather just listen to other Brazilian people speaking English. You need to hear different accents. It's a strange thing. So you need to, when you get a strange situation where you've been rejected for a strange reason, you turn a negative into a positive, because that's quite a funny story for students when I tell them, yeah, this school did this. So different schools, different experiences, very important, very good. So when you learn the different methodologies, you need to maybe read more things, watch more videos about your own weak areas. You need to find some good materials that are specific to your students. So it's good to have in a generic plan. I have generic plans of vocabulary, and I know that the student's more interested in something. I think it's important, an introduction to know some of their hobbies, because you can find materials based on their hobbies. That helps keep your students motivated if they're reading or watching materials that interest them on a normal level. And you need to think about what's your own personal strength. I've got a very scientific background, sports science graduate. I've done a lot of work using scientific English, translation and teaching. So you need to think about your experiences before you become an English teacher and how you can use that as your own little niche. So these are just a few tips. If you're planning to change into this career, if you like to make a comment, ask any questions, if you have a different kind of tip I've not mentioned, that's good, put it in the comments. I welcome discussion. This is not an echo chamber. This is everybody has a right to put an opinion on YouTube under a video. If there is a specific doubt, or you've watched many of my videos and there's a specific thing you would like me to explain in a video, you can always put that in a comment. That's always welcome. If you specifically would like certain content, suggestions are always welcome. Please like and subscribe, leave any comments, and share this with your friends. I'll see you in another video.